Okay, so you can submit the national identification card original and also the original documents, qualifications pertaining education and all the documents. Thank you. Okay, as we continue to verify the documents, I would like the committee to introduce themselves to our nominee for PSM. I begin from the farthest corner, my right-hand side.
I'm Anthony Ruto, MCA Gipkeli Anwat, and member of this committee.
Chair, I'm Paul B., representing the great people of Kapsao's ward. Welcome, nominee.
I'm Fancy Corinne, member. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Betsy. I'm called Corinne Matthew, MCHI Court, member to this committee.
Good afternoon.
Karibu Betsy, I'm Anita, MCHA Masat Ward.
And I'm Winnie Langat, member.
Thank you.
Okay, Betsy, I would like the secretariat to introduce themselves, beginning from the clerk.
Thank you, Chair. My name is David Thiongo, Kalaka Synthesis Committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. My name is Kipkuru Bernard, Research Officer.
My name is Leonard Chebet, Research Officer.
I'm Sharon Mibe, Deputy Clerk, Legislative Services.
Dennis Chepngatich, PRO.
My name is Abraham Langat, Deputy Clerk, Administration. Thank you.
Priska Mosonik, PR.
Martin Langat, ICT.
Ruben Kirais, Achenata.
Okay, from the introduction part, thank you so much. Okay, Betsy, I'm Gabriela Chepngeno, nominated MCA from Chebesoni Ward. I'm the chairperson of this committee. The committee is comprised of 9 members. We have the vice chairperson and the chairperson and the vice chairperson. It is the Committee of Governance, Labor and Social Welfare. It is the right committee pertaining your vetting today. Miss Betsy, today we are going to vet you whether to see your suitability in this docket. First of all, congratulations for being qualified to be in this docket. First, I would like you to introduce to this honorable committee and the House about yourself. We want to know it's Betsy, the qualifications, the experiences. Generally, we want to know the Betsy that's in this house today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. Indeed, it is a great honor to appear before you this afternoon. My gratitude goes to the governor for granting me this opportunity. And I am Betsy Chebet Kirui, 33 years old, a resident of Kericho County. I come from Kipkelion East sub-county, Chepseon Ward, Momoniat Village. I attended my primary education in Ketigoi Preparatory School, and in the year 2003, I did my primary education, and I'm glad to inform you that I was among the best students, having scored 419 marks, where I was awarded. And having passed my primary education, it earned me a slot, and I was admitted to the prestigious Bahati Girls in the year 2004. And in the year 2007, I sat for my KCSE, and this time again, I passed, having scored a strong B+, which saw my admission to the university, Egerton University, Kisii campus, and I enrolled for Bachelor of Business Management, Accounting option, and it is at the university that I was strongly involved in student affairs, and which saw me participating in campus politics. I successfully vied for the vice chair of the student union, and indeed, that is where the journey of my several firsts began. I was the first female student from my community to successfully vie for such position, and indeed, it earned me a merit award for safeguarding the interests of the students at the union. Later, I joined Kenyatta University for Masters in Business Administration, Strategic Management option, and in the year 2019, that is when I graduated. And so in between here, I also hold a diploma in project management from Kenya Institute of Management. I'm also a CPA and a CPSK. I've also attended senior leadership programs and senior management course at the Kenya School of Government. Presently, I'm also a champion of corporate governance. Taking into consideration what I have presented before you, I feel I am the right person for this position. Previously, Chairman, in the year 2013, I was nominated, or rather appointed I was appointed as a member of Kericho County Public Service Board. That was still a landmark. Having, at the age of 23, I sat in the board, and indeed, we were the pioneer board members. I sat in this board for 6 years, and it is in this board that we achieved a lot, being the pioneer board. So, while at the board, we established structures, systems, and procedures. Occasionally, we submitted reports to this house from time to time, and the Public Service Board, it is an independent body, indicated in the County Government Act, that is Section 58 of the County Government Act, which clearly stipulates the composition of the board. It is a 7-member board comprising of the chairman, a corporate secretary, and 5 other members. So I sat in this board as a member representing the youth under the affirmative action. So, and I'm happy to inform this committee that I was the youngest member in the entire country. So,
by pro bono or charity work, listing specific instances, the amount contributed, and the amount of time devoted to each of these charity purposes.
Thank you, Chairman. I am a community-centered person, and in the past, I have taken through university 3 orphans, and I'm currently supporting 12 widows from my community. I believe there is more I can do. If granted this opportunity, definitely I will reach to many. Thank you.
Okay, I give to my vice chairperson to continue with the next question. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations, Betty.
Thank you.
Welcome for these questions. List the amount and date of anticipation receipt from the different incomes arrangement and stock options and completed contracts and other future benefits which you expect to derive from previous business relationship and professional service from farm membership.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
List the sources amount and date of anticipated receipts from different income arrangement, stock option, and completed contracts, and other future benefits from which you expect to derive from previous business relations and professional service farm membership.
Okay.
Number 2, do you have any plans, commitment, or agreement or pursue outside employment which is without compensation during your service in office? If explain.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Chair. And through the Chair, I don't intend to participate in any other engagement should I be appointed. This is a very, I can say, a very busy office, and we do have a lot to do. So I think my current net worth, it stands at around 12 million. This cuts across family land, dairy, and a car. So from earnings from this it could be around monthly income of around 40,000.
Okay, thank you, Betsy. I would like to request Honorable Fancy to continue with the next question.
Okay, Betsy, have you ever been charged in the law, the court of law?
No.
In the last 3 years?
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Betsy, have you participated in any political rallies, especially you are being appointed to this office and you understand it is more of political?
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Matthew, and through the Chair, I would like to state to this committee that I'm a technocrat, and in the past, I have restricted my activities to my profession, so I haven't participated because I am a technocrat.
Okay, from your rich CV,
yes.
Do you have any published or have you published anything that's all right?
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Matthew, through the Chair, during my master's thesis, I researched on management strategies and performance of Kericho County, and it is found in our academia website.
Do you have any honors or awards?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Matthew. Through the Chair, I will call them recognitions. I have been recognized for the service delivery. I was also recognized when I left the board. We were appreciated for diligently serving, working for Kericho County government.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Betsy. Would like to give to Honorable Paul B.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Betsy, for making your way all through this assembly as a nominee in the Public Service Board. Betsy, from your CV, it is evident that you once served as a member of the Kericho County Assembly, Public Service Board. What do you consider as your success during that period of service?
Thank you, Honorable Paul B. And through the Chair, as earlier mentioned, I sat in the board, the Public Service Board, as a member. And this was the pioneer board. So we did set up structures in place. And I remember I spearheaded the introduction and the implementation of a job application portal, which currently is in place, and it has enhanced not only service delivery, but also transparency. Together with my colleagues, we developed various policies, one of them being training and development, dress code policies, recruitment policies. We also conducted various recruitments across. So those are the key I can mention to this committee.
Thank you. Number 2, the vote on personnel emolument exceeds 35%. You're aware, provided by the law. Briefly inform the committee on your plans in as far as the management of the wage bill is concerned.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable. Through the Chair, indeed, the current wage bill, the Kericho County current wage bill, it stands at around, it stands at 41.8%. This one is way above the ceiling, and it is sad to note that Kericho County has defied the ceiling. And I would like to look at the causes of this high wage bill. Some of the causes could include, and I would rather include, haphazard recruitment, unplanned promotions, and ghost workers. So I'll address from the point of the causes. First, I would recommend for a staff audit, that is headcount, to weed out the ghost workers. I would want to verify or to know if indeed this 41.8% is a true reflection of the current wage bill. And also, on haphazard recruitments, advise departments accordingly that recruitments and promotions should be based on budgetary provisions and the plans and the annual plans. So Kericho County is among other counties that have exceeded the wage bill, even though other counties have a higher wage bill. A case of like Homa Bay County, there stands at around 41%. We also have, I think, Machakos County at 47%, Embu County at 48%. That doesn't mean we are safe. I think we can do more. And still, being wage bill is related to the revenue. And as earlier mentioned by my colleagues, there are plans to expand the revenue base and to identify new streams of revenue. So those are the proposals I'll put in place.
Okay, Chair, a rejoinder.
Yes.
Betsy, you have stated that in Kericho County we have coast workers.
Yes.
How can one tell that is a coast worker and is not a coast worker?
Okay. Thank you.
Kindly.
Thank you, Honorable Matthew. Yeah, I mentioned that the causes of a high wage bill could be ghost workers, could be the existence of ghost workers, and the best way to identify the existence of ghost workers is conducting what is called staff audit, that is headcount. Getting to know the staff we have in our payroll correlates with the staff registry. So together with the County Executive Committee member for PSM, I think we will roll out a headcount. We'd want to verify and to confirm if indeed the staff we have in our payroll, the county government is paying, are working for the county government. And I think any company adhering to the corporate governance practice would want to have value for its money. Yes.
Okay. Do you want to confirm to this panel that we have ghost workers in Kericho County? And if it's so, at what percentage? Kindly.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Matthew. And through the Chair, I might not be privy to such information. It's confidential. You can't access the payroll unless you have the rights. So if given this chance, that will be my first task, together with the County Executive Committee, to find out if indeed they are ghost workers. And in this case, maybe they are none.
Okay, thank you, Betsy.
I rejoin the Chair.
Yes.
Okay, Betsy, I know we are talking of the huge wage bill that has to be worked on. You've mentioned cases of a possibility of ghost workers, which cannot be confirmed at this point. And I want to assume that they are all workers that can be confirmed. And now, with us here, we have a challenge with the delayed payment of salaries. That is a huge problem currently. I don't know, with your interpersonal skills and your problem-solving skills, how would you liaise with the finance docket to ensure that salaries are paid promptly? Because apparently, staff goes for months without pay or delay payments. And also there's an issue of lack of promotion. Kindly let this committee know your plans as you plan on looking at the promotion issues and also the late payment of salaries. What are some of the ideas that you have? Because it's a major concern, as much as we're talking of a huge wage bill, meaning we're not able to pay at a certain time because we're already overboard. But what are you thinking? If at all you come in and find that there are no ghost workers, we have people who are working, the numbers are high, the budget is low. What do you plan? How do you plan to work on the late payments and the promotion issues that we're having in this county?
Thank you, Honorable Anita. Allow me to respond through the Chair on the issue of the skewed promotions. On the issue of the skewed promotions, it is sad to note that there is skewed promotions, and yet all the public officers are entitled to a 5-day training in a financial year, as well as induction of newly recruited staff. So in the event that I'm taken on board, I'll handle the issue of promotions first by establishing, on the issue of promotions, I'll insist on sticking and adhering to the existing regulations, the existing schemes of service, that guides on career progression. So promotion, it should be merit-based, and the accounting officers and the authorized officers should take in view and also provide for in the preparation of the budgets, as well as I think there is more of adhering to the existing schemes of service, which clearly stipulates the progression of staff. So while at the board, we developed, as earlier mentioned, what is called the TDA, Training and Development Policy, which guides on the promotions at different levels, and I think I will work on implementing that and even reviewing the same, because one thing I observed is that some senior staff, they miss out on promotions because they lack the requisite training, like the one for Kenya School of Government. A case of the public officers in job group, or those who are moving to job group P and above, they have not attended the senior management courses and the senior and the strategic leadership programs at the School of Government. So I'll advise the departments to factor in for promotions and to factor in for trainings, because they correlate. At times you want to promote staff, but they don't have they have not attained the requisite skills and the qualifications. Again, still on the promotions, I observed that some departments, in particular, I think the Department of Agriculture has many staff who are due for retirement, and there are some gaps to be filled. And so my role is to advise departments. I would really want to ensure that the staff, Kericho County staff, is a motivated workforce, so that when it comes to promotion, everyone gets an equal opportunity, that there are policies, there are procedures which should be adhered to at all levels, so that when the systems and the policies are in place, it will provide a fair ground. It will provide a fair ground for all players. So I'll insist on adhering to the existing schemes of service across board. And in the event that I think in the event that I'm taken in as the Chief Officer, Public Service Management, together with the County Executive Committee member and the office and the County Secretary, will issue circulars from time to time. We'll also advise the departments on the issue of promotions, so that when the various departments are requisitioning or are making requests to the board on promotions, they should be guided. Because in the past, what I observed is that some departments provide for promotions while others don't. So you'll find that some departments, the staff, the public officers have moved even 3 job groups, while others have stagnated. A case of Department of Agriculture, we had very senior public officers having stagnated for over 20 years, which really demotivates the staff. So I want us to really standardize these promotions, that's like that the various departments provide for in the budget, and my role is to advise accordingly. And in the event that there are constraints, we'll definitely find a way forward. Still on the other question on salary delays, it is true, I'm aware that occasionally there are delays. We experience salary delay, and basically this one, I think it is it's more of a multi-departmental concern, and at times it is beyond even the county government, because a huge source of revenue we obtain from the national treasury. And I know we are all aware that in the past we've experienced late disbursement of funds. So at times it's really beyond us. But in my capacity, in the event that I'm considered, I'll first ensure there is communication, there is open feedback. Let us inform our staff why we are experiencing the salary delay from time to time. That is for the short-term period. But for the long term, together with my colleagues who are vetted prior, there are plans underway to enhance our revenue base to ensure that we've expanded our source of revenue, and also as well as establishing what is called a reserve fund, where we can mitigate the delay of salaries, and considering we have bodies that guide and advise from time to time, like the Council of Governors. I'm aware that the governors have been deliberating on the way forward to ensure that the Treasury disburse funds promptly. Thank you.
Thank you. Through the chair, I think this will be my last one. Let's talk about the potential conflict of interest. This position, if given an opportunity, will include hiring and possibly firing. What happens when you have to handle your relatives, your close friends, when it comes to staffing, especially? That's where I know there's a bone of contention. What are some of the ways that you work around it, such that we'll not have cases of complaints that we're getting people employed from, a specific area, a specific group, a specific clan? With us in Kalenjin, we even go up to the clan. So kindly let us know how you plan to work around it, that we'll not have such issues arising in your office. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Anita. And through the chair, how I intend to handle conflicts of interest. As earlier mentioned, I am a corporate governance expert. And in government, there are proper guidelines, there are proper regulations on handling conflict of interest. One, we have what is called conflict of interest register, where in the event that you feel you have an interest, you declare and even register that you have an interest. So I will uphold highest level of professional ethics, transparency, and encourage fellow staff to be open, to be transparent, and declare on cases of conflict of interest. Indeed, in the past, there is that debate where our relatives apply for jobs. Are they not citizens of Kericho County? They are, and they also ought to, I think they also ought to have a share of the cake. But how do we handle? So I'm looking at this not to disadvantage our relatives, not to disadvantage maybe the people we know, but once we have a clear guidelines on the conflict of interest, which are already in existence, mine is to ensure it is implemented properly, implementation of the conflict of interest policies. Yes, thank you.
Through the chair, Madam Betsy, the talk in the town is about how the Kericho County government handled the issue of the Chebogan youth. 751 of them have not been engaged, despite successfully completing their training. If we are approved, how do you plan to solve this issue? And number two, what best practices on governance, public service, and social welfare are you bringing on the board in case you are approved for the position of chief officer? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Gikonyo. Through the chair, indeed, I'm aware of the Chebogan 751, and the county government managed to engage around, I think, 150 of them on contract. So there is an ongoing debate on the same, and I would like to look into their skills, to conduct what is called skills audit these Chebwagan 751, what are their skills? And the ones who are currently absorbed on contract, what next for them? So, and back to the wage bill, where we are still struggling to work on the ceiling, and that the fact that we are above the ceiling. So on this Chebwagan 751, sorry, I would recommend the skills audit. I want to recommend the skills audit of this lot of Chebwagan 781. And once we increase our revenue base, I believe we can absorb more into the public service. As well as earlier mentioned, there are departments with staff who've retired. So I think it is something to be done. It is not a departmental decision, but it will involve several stakeholders. It will involve the other departments. It will also involve even the Department of Finance and Economic Planning. It will involve the Office of the County Secretary. So it is an executive decision which will be deliberated on and agreed at the county executive level to find a way of resolving this. Thank you. Still on the other question on best governance. Yes, I'll ensure through the chairman, I'll put in place policies and procedures and uphold high levels of professional ethics. I'll provide room for open feedback and more of, can I say, not punitive measures, more of friendly supervisory ways, not punitive ones, and enhance integrity, and of course provide for an open door policy where my office will receive feedback and act on them from time to time. Thank you.
Okay, Betsy, suppose you go to an hospital right now, let's say the Kericho district, and you find the workers donning their tools. How are you going to handle that?
Thank you, Honorable Fancy. Through the chair, indeed, the county government experienced strikes or go-slows from time to time. And no county government would want to deal with demoralized, or rather demotivated staff. So it starts from handling the causes. What could lead to strikes? What are these causes of go-slows? And some of the causes of the go-slows could include poor working conditions, delayed promotions, maybe a case of maybe lack of proper equipment or proper tools. And indeed, in the past, the Department of Health Services has experienced strikes from time to time. And even at some point, they were requesting for the implementation of the CBA agreement. So in the event that we are experiencing strike, and I know we are all aware the critical role the Department of Health Services play. So in the event that we are experiencing strike, even before it gets to that, I will ensure that we handle the possible causes of strike that could lead with strike. Once our staff are promoted on time, they receive their pay on time, they have proper working condition, proper working environment, I don't foresee any potential or possible strikes in the future. However, should they occur, I will advocate for mutual agreement, more of a negotiation. Yes, where the employer and the employees reach a mutual agreement on the way forward. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Betty, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Through the chair, maybe you can tell us the sources of income and your network.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. Through the chair, allow me to respond on that, on the various sources of income. My current net worth is estimated to be around 12 million, and this one, it comprises of a car, family land, and a plot. And I anticipate to earn monthly income of around 45 to 50,000. Thank you.
Ruto.
Thank you, Chair. Betsy, congratulations for coming this far. Betsy, you have already enumerated positive achievements that you are able to make as a public service board during your tenure. I know you must have also experienced challenges in public service board. Could you please name or give those challenges to these panelists, and ways that you could manage those challenges so that public service board can effectively execute its mandate. Number 2, public service management. A check of budget goes to recurrent, but a minimal percentage is given to development. And there is a lot which is required to be executed in the department. With this minimal budget allocation to the department, if you are given the chance to be the chief officer in the public service management, what are you going to do so as to enhance budgetary allocation to the department so that you can be able to execute your mandate? Number 3, disaster management in our county is wanting. Every now and then, we hear of fire breakouts. We are told, and it is really true, that we don't have skilled and trained manpower that can be able to handle disaster in our county. We are told, and it is true, that we have insufficient fire firefighting machines, and the few that are there are in poor state. We are told again that, and it is true, that the same machines do not have necessary equipment. If in any case, Betsy, you are given the chance, how will you be able to handle the same so that we can be able to respond promptly to fire breakouts or any disaster? Number 3 or number 4. Public participation is key as far as identification and implementation of projects is concerned. But attendance is wanting. Recently, we have a public participation as far as CIDP is concerned. In Kipkelion West, we have 4 wards in Kipkelion West. And we were supposed to do it as a sub-county. But when this is done, we always experience poor attendance, especially from far sub-counties. If in any case you are given the chance, how are we going to be able to enhance public participation? The last one. The last one.
Allow her first to complete the first questions, and then you'll continue, Honorable Member.
This one is the last one, Chair.
Yeah.
Mobility. We have sub-county administrators and ward administrators. These are key people that are supposed to oversee the implementation of projects in our wards and sub-counties. For them to move, for them to be able to oversee the implementation of projects, it's a problem because of mobility. For example, in Kipkelion West sub-county and Kipkelion East, our sub-county administrators do not have vehicles. The ones which were there were brought to the county headquarters in the name of taking them for service. The last 2 years, 3 years. Whenever we ask, we are told they are still being serviced. Should you be given this chance, Betsy, how will you be able to, what are you going to do so that these particular people can be able to move from one place to another to foresee the implementation of projects? Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Ruto. Through the chair, allow me to respond on the challenges faced by the Public Service Board. As earlier mentioned, we were the pioneer board, and we are all aware of the challenges that pioneer boards face. One of the challenges that we faced was, and I feel it is still a challenge up to date, is the budgetary constraints. You see, everything is centered on the availability of funds. So here is a case where you want to train your staff, a case where our public officers are entitled to a 5-day training in every financial year. But the budgetary constraints. So that was the key challenge. And also another challenge was another key challenge was also the awareness. You see, the Public Service Board, it's an independent board, well established and safeguarded by the County Government Act. And it has a perpetual succession. And as earlier mentioned, the duties, the powers of recruitment and selection, promotions, abolition, and creation of offices are well outlined. So the challenge that we faced is there was no awareness initially, where from the defunct local authorities we could come across cases of other defunct other departments insisting of their own recruitments without factoring in the existence of the board. So I'm sure as required by the County Government Act, Section 59, where the Public Service Board avail annual reports from time to time to this committee, I'm sure we've been able to mitigate some of these challenges. The other challenge that I observed, as earlier mentioned, was the skewed promotions, and also where other departments make requests to the board for promotions without factoring in their budgetary allocations. So in my view, going forward, I believe that the Department of Public Service Management should be aware, or rather should regulate, so that various departments, when making requisitions of promotions or recruitment, should inform the Public Service Management. So you come across a case where the board is recruiting and the Public Service Management is not even aware. So I'm advocating for involvement of the Public Service Management and even the County Secretary, the Office of the County Secretary, being the head of public service. Also, in the board, another challenge that I observed was every time we could float an advert, you could find that a few people, or let's say people from a certain region, would express interest, you'd see. And here we are talking of fair distribution. So you come across cases where, let's say, 90% of the applicants are from Litein ward in particular. And here we are saying that it should be fairly distributed across the 30 wards. So what do you do when other applicants from other regions have not applied? So that was a challenge that we experienced. And then also the issue of gender. You've advertised for a position and a particular gender only applies. And it was a huge challenge, considering that at least 2/3 should not belong to one particular gender. So in cases where only one particular gender shows interest, I would advocate for creating awareness. Let us open channels of awareness creation. Let our people know that let our people know and be aware of job adverts. Initially, we used to place on notice boards, but later, as we progressed on, we even went to radios to create awareness so that we can target as many residents of Kericho County as possible. So on the other question of the minimum budget allocation, where you've been allocated for, And here, you're supposed to plan and execute your mandate. I would first advocate for proper planning. What are the priorities of the department? What are the needs of the department so that we execute we have a proper plan in place so that with the minimum budget we can achieve a lot. So it is a case of strategic planning in various departments. On the question of disaster management, yes, from time to time we've experienced fire outbreaks, and case of I think late response. So in the event that I'm granted this opportunity, I would want to facilitate for training of personnel. I really don't think we don't have the personnel. I think what lacks is the proper training. Have we trained this personnel on disaster management? Even ourselves, I don't know if we are trained on disaster management. So there's need to create awareness across board. Let us train even to the ward levels. How do we respond to disaster? Even on your own, even the need to respond to disaster from time to time. And I'm aware that the department has 2 trucks which are operational, and they've provided for 2 million for the refurbishment of the fire trucks. So still on the same, I will fast track, and even in collaboration with the county executive committee member, we will do an inspection. We'll visit the fire stations in our county so that we get to access the real situation, the real status, and report, and even make strong recommendations on the way forward. Thank you. On the question on public participation, indeed, I've also experienced that whenever we have sessions of public participation, there is low turnout. As provided for in Article 232 of the Constitution of Kenya, where we should involve the public in decision making, I would suggest first to disseminate information, create awareness. I don't know if the public is aware of the role they play in public participation. At times, as they say, information is power. So let's create awareness. Let's go to radios. Let's sensitize the public. Let's inform them the importance of public participation. And looking at that, maybe in the past, there's low public participation because we don't take in view, or rather, we don't consider the views of the public. So I think we can affirm to the public that in the event that they make recommendations, in the event that they air their views, we are going to consider their recommendations. And again, through the chair, on the issue of public participation, let's have proper personnel. You see, let's have people who can reach to the lower levels at the villages, people who can even disseminate the same information to Mama Mboga. You see, at times we might not be having the right personnel. So in the event that you're organizing for public participation, let us have the proper people in place. And also, there is also need to have I think, pre-survey. If we are going to have public participation on talk of budgets, can we disseminate the right information prior to the public participation? And let's also have a schedule of the public participation programs so that we inform the public prior. Because at times, what I've observed in the past is that there is normally what is called, I think, a short notice, where you are informed that there will be public participation on these dates. I believe that we can have a prior notice on the same, so that we can factor in the views of many people as much as possible, the residents of Kericho County. And still on the other question of sub-county administrators and the ward administrators, indeed, yes, the public service management, the sub-county administrators and the ward administrators are personnel in the county public service, in the public service management. These are our officers at the county, at the sub-county, and even at the ward level, representing the county government. One thing I observed is that at times they don't have the necessary skills, not rather the skills, but they don't have the proper tools. They don't have the requisite tools in place, as mentioned, like the vehicles. And I've observed, or I've noted, that it was factored in the budget. They factored in 10.1 million for the development of ward offices. And also, apart from that, I think the Department of Public Service Management in the past, I think it has managed to develop around, let's say, I think around 10 ward and administrators' offices, and there are plans underway to ensure that each ward has a ward office. So I'll come to this later on in the event that I'm considered for this position. I'll approach this committee and to discuss on the same. So on the issue of the vehicles, I think I will fast track. I'll together in collaboration with the county executive committee member, we will fast track on these vehicles. Why are they grounded? And find a way out. If it is a case of pending bills, if it is a case of not paying, or let's say they are grounded at the showroom, or they are grounded even, let's say, at our offices, I would want to find out the current status and ensure that they are up and running, so that our ward and sub-county administrators as well can reach to many residents of Kericho County. Through the chair, one thing I also observed is that the sub-county and the ward administrators, they don't have a scheme of service in place. So without a proper scheme of service, how do you promote them, you see? And in collaboration with other bodies like the Council of Governors and even the national government, I will seek advisory on the same and establish in creating the schemes of service for our sub-county and ward administrators, so that they grow, so that they also promoted in the public service, so that they also have their own scheme. And I'm sure other counties have established maybe their schemes, so we'll benchmark on that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Betsy. I have 3 more questions for you, but I think you'll note it down so that you'll be. During governor's campaign, governor was so passionate about reconstituting the county public service board. And according to you, I know that you have served in public service board for the term of 6 years. What are the challenges that public service board are facing? And 2, the Department of the Public Service Management. And then the question number 2, you are aware that during our second assembly, this house allocated funds for the confirmation of ECD teachers and caretakers on permanent and pensionable terms. However, the problem arose because of lack of scheme of service. What plans do you have in place to have this scheme of service for ECD teachers? And then the last one, you are aware that the fixing of gender issue balance, especially even in this list of nominees of CEOs, the governor promised that he will be handling the 2/3 gender rule by sending more CEOs to this county assembly. According to you, and according to your understanding, that the wage bill is high above the cut line that we have as Kericho County. What will you do, or what is your advice to the county, especially advice to the governor on the same? The last one. The defunct local authorities had staffs working for them in Kericho County during the transition period. Some of the staff were never placed, and they have been wallowing in poverty despite being previously the employers of the government. Some have even gone to court against the county government of Kericho, and their cases are active. How will you plan to resolve this issue with finality? So that question, I think it is direct. We have a number of employees who are working under the defunct local authorities, and understand that you are aware of a number of them. Even they still staying in the county houses for lands department. Kindly tell us, what will you do if confirmed in this position that you are being vetted for? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Matthew. And through the chairman, allow me to respond on the issue of confirmation of ECD teachers. It is true we don't have an existing scheme of service for ECD teachers. And going forward, in collaboration with the county executive committee member for public service management, we will come up, we will consult the Council of Governors and even the national government to come up with a scheme of service which will guide us on the management of and even absorption of the ECD teachers. Other counties, like Kirinyaga County, have absorbed their ECD teachers, and I think we'll benchmark. We'd want to know what scheme did they use. So I'll work in collaboration with the Public Service Board and ensure that there is an existing scheme of service for the ECD teachers. On the question of the 2/3 gender rule, indeed, I'm supporting the governor's initiative of complying with the 2/3 gender rule, and even the creation of offices to cater for the gender rule. As earlier mentioned, our wage bill is majorly dependent on our revenue, and I believe with my colleagues we'll work on expanding our revenue base, and also identifying other various sources of revenue to cater for any new recruitments. And going forward, I would advise, or rather ensure that the recruitment done by the board should adhere to the 2/3 gender rule. Any recruitment, it should always adhere to the 2/3 gender rule. And in the event that such is not complied, then we'll find out the reasons as to why. So it is a requirement that we comply to the gender rule, and at times it might be progressive, but going forward, let every recruitment absorption comply to the gender rule. On the challenges Adalia mentioned, the challenges faced by the board, the budgetary constraints, and among other challenges as earlier mentioned. It's true that we have defunct local authority staff that were never absorbed, and even some have even gone to court to seek redress. So a case of lands and housing where they were hanging, they were nowhere, neither in the national government and neither at the county government. So I would look into absorption. I don't think anyone should be left out. And also I would seek advisory from the Council of Governors pertaining those staff who were left out during the transition phase. And if possible, and if they are skilled and they possess the requisite skills, we will work on a plan together with the County Executive Committee and other relevant departments to work on absorbing them into the public service. Thank you.
Okay, Betsy, as we conclude, I'd like you to make the last comments and also your wish to this committee as we conclude.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. I'm grateful for granting this opportunity. Allow me to mention that there were gaps. One thing that I observed is that there were gaps on trainings, so that you find some departments have provided for trainings for staff while others have not. And even these trainings were skewed. There were a lot of favorism. So going forward, I would propose for establishment of a training committee, so that any training that will be, any training of the county government staff are considered through this committee. And I'd propose the county secretary to chair this training committee, so that we have a fair distribution of training, and also conduct what is called training needs assessment. You cannot deal with what you don't know. So in collaboration with the county executive committee member, would really identify the needs. What are these skills that the county government requires? And then from there, going forward, we advise the departments on the training needs through the training committee, where the county secretary will chair. It's just a proposal. And also, this committee should comprise of human resource, senior human resource officers, to avert cases of discrimination when it comes to trainings. Because as earlier mentioned, there is a correlation between trainings, promotions, and basically motivation of staff. So in my view, in the event that I'm considered for this job, I'll take into consideration, having worked in the board, I believe that I have what it takes. The Public Service Board works closely with the Department of Public Service Management, and I believe I possess the requisite skills experience to take this county to the next level and even make Kericho County public service emerge among the top in Kenya. I'll also advocate for a healthy workforce in the sense that there are policies, there are strategies to manage the new emerging trends in the workforce. A case of mental awareness. There's need to create mental awareness programs. The new regulations and and what is happening at the moment. So I believe, as I conclude, that I have what it takes to take forward and to reform the Kericho County public service. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Betsy. Would like also the committee members to say something as we conclude. I begin with Anthony Ruto.
Betsy, congratulations for being nominated or being a nominee. At the same time, I want to wish you the best in your future endeavor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Betsy, I also want to echo what my colleague had said. Congratulations for making your way here. I want to wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Betsy, I want to wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Betsy, I want to wish you all the best. I know that God will grant you a chance to work in this county.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate you and wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Nakutakia mema na new appointments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. I feel like you're in the right place at the right time. I want to wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wish you well, my friend.
Thank you.
Madam Betsy, it has been a great engagement. I think you are inspiration to the women of Kericho County, and we are very proud of you. From my side, I wish you all the very best in all your endeavors, and may God always bless your wishes. To that point, I therefore declare this vetting process adjourned. Thank you so much.